has been organized to burn. As a consequence, the planet is inflamed. Global temperature records are being broken. Forest fires have turned from annual to perennial events. Oceans are rising, and storms have become bigger and stronger. This is the epoch of endless fire. Human destruction is tearing apart the web of life, shredding the networks of relationships between organisms and places in which our lives are embedded. Inflammation is a biological, social, economic, and ecological pathway, all of which intersect and whose contours were made by the modern world. Inflammation is triggered when tissues and cells are damaged or threatened with damage. A complex and intricately coordinated response of the immune system, inflammation mobilizes resources to ultimately heal what has been injured. In a healthy, balanced system, once the mending has occurred, inflammation subsides. When the damage keeps coming, the repair cannot fully happen, leaving the inflammatory response running. A system of healing then turns into one that creates more harm. As we explore inflammation in this book, we will sometimes use the language of the body in analogy. So, salmon are to rivers as hearts are to blood vessels. They both function as nutrient pumps in the systems of circulation. We sometimes proceed by simile. Dams are like vascular obstructions. We're not above metaphor. Trade routes, for example, are colonialism's arteries, moving people, capital, goods, and diseases around the world system, and connecting bodies, societies, geographies, and ecologies. The metaphor helps us to show that inflammation is systemic and that the systems are linked. But we aren't making a literary argument so much as a medical one. The inflammation in your arteries and the inflammation of the planet are linked, and the causal connections are becoming increasingly clear. Your physiological state is a reaction to social and environmental factors. Racial violence, economic precarity, industrial pollution, poor diet, and even the water you drink can inflame you. These connections are not new, or even our own. Indigenous people have been articulating them for the past 600 years in an ongoing global resistance to the destruction of their ways of life. Abolitionists have been articulating them since 1619. From the global South, traditions of healing have survived successive waves of colonial destruction. Our work stands on the shoulders of movement workers and visionary thinkers from the past, and our contemporaries, from the agroecological farmers of Amrita Bhumi in Karnataka, India, to the lived and theorized struggles for abolition of Angela Davis. We are duly inspired by Robin Wall Kimmerer's braiding together of science and story, and the border-smashing articulations of Miles Davis and Frantz Fanon. Our analysis has been shaped by organizing with communities in struggle, and by the stories of patients who have pointed the way to these connections we explore. We acknowledge and honor those people whose legacies of resistance have shaped our own understanding. To this foundation of knowledge that precedes us, we hope to contribute a political anatomy, one that can help identify the root causes of humanity's shared pathologies in our bodies and in the world around us. Consider the case of Sheila McCarley. She was born on the outskirts of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, on land that had once been Cherokee, a tributary of the Trail of Tears. Power lines strung along the Tennessee River during the New Deal era allowed industries to flourish and gave Alabamians work for a dignified wage. Meanwhile, lax regulations permitted the industrial effluent to flow into the Tennessee River. McCarley grew up in Florence, drinking water drawn from the family well. On weekends, she'd eat catfish pulled from the river with her own hands, fish that had lived and died in water tainted with mercury and forever chemicals, like PFAS or perfluoroalkyl substances. Found in everyday items like waterproof jackets, nonstick pans, and firefighting foam, PFAS are a family of 5,000 forever chemicals, so called because they accumulate in our bodies and environment and never degrade. They are behind a range of health problems including cancer, thyroid disorders, and immune system disruption. Failure to regulate industrial production has led to their widespread presence in drinking.